It's been nearly 35 years since we were first introduced to Home Alone, the iconic Christmas movie that made child actor Macaulay Culkin a household name back in 1990, and the rest of the family flick's unforgettable cast. Macaulay Culkin may no longer be a constant feature on our screens, but he's as prevalent as Christmas trees every holiday, thanks to the classic movie Home Alone. The actor is arguably one of the most successful and recognizable child stars of his generation, and that mega fame is hard to escape. He fell into the trappings of other child actors before him, and while he was fortunate enough to get back on the right track, it was a struggle to get there. Here's a look back at Culkin's career. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, we are starting. Macaulay Culkin was born in 1980 in New York in a large family with a very modest income. His father, Christopher, is a former Broadway actor who, at the time of Macaulay's birth, was a church superintendent. Mother, Patricia, is a telephone operator. The boy's parents were not officially married. Despite having 7 children, Macaulay has 4 brothers and 2 sisters. Christopher Culkin, who did not realize his own acting ambitions, decided to embody them in his son. For the first time, Mac, as his relatives and friends call him, appeared on the stage of the New York Philharmonic at the age of 4 as a dancer. At the age of 5, he made his debut on the screen. He starred in a tiny episode in the television comedy horror, Midnight. Then he was not even mentioned in the credits, and there was a mask on the boy's face throughout the whole scene with his participation. After that, there were already much more noticeable appearances in the film, Rocket to Gibraltar, and in an episode of the series, The Equalizer. His first gig was in an off-Broadway play, and soon he was starring in TV commercials. But his star really soared in 1990 when he was cast as the lovable Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. Culkin became one of the most successful child actors of all time. He appeared in Michael Jackson's Black or White music video and starred in the successful movies My Girl, The Good Son, Richie Rich, Getting Even with Dad, and, of course, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. But sadly, Culkin soon found himself following the same dark path like many young stars before him. The son's career was managed by his father. Christopher chose films in which Macaulay was to act. He also negotiated fees, which grew exponentially from project to project. For the first part of Home Alone, the boy earned $100,000, and for the second 2 years later, already $4.5 million. In 1994, he received $8 million for a role. Meanwhile, none of the subsequent films could even come close to the success of the story of the resourceful Kevin McAllister. In the meantime, the Culkin family was restless. His father was always extremely authoritarian, but over the years it became impossible to endure him either on the set or at home. In 1995, Patricia decided to leave the father of her 7 children. Despite the fact that they were not officially married, they still had to decide in court the issue of custody and management of Macaulay's money. The boy, despite the brilliant career prospects, at the age of 14 decided to end his acting career. Creative crisis and divorce are not the only difficulties that Macaulay had to face at a fairly young age. At the age of 17, he sued his own parents in order to end their proceedings regarding his finances and deprive both of them of the right to dispose of his money. As a result, management of all Culkin's accounts was transferred to his personal accountant. 20 years later, he later discussed his decision on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. "I was tired of it, to be honest. I did like 14 movies in 6 years or something like that," Culkin said in the 2018 interview. "I was away from home a lot. I was away from school. I needed something else. It was the smartest thing I could have possibly done was to take 8 years off." It's not that Culkin left Hollywood. Rather, he struggled to find his feet and make that transition from child star to adult actor. After his hiatus, he attempted to make a comeback in 2003 in the biographical drama Party Monster, but his performance was widely panned. Culkin did draw praise the following year for his role in the satirical comedy Saved, but hopes for a career resurgence and redirection never came to fruition. Another attempt in 2007 to transition from child star to bona fide actor in the movie Sex and Breakfast ended in disappointment. The film went straight to DVD. The actor has struggled to find acting roles ever since. Culkin continues to make TV appearances every now and again, mainly as himself or his Home Alone character, Kevin McAllister. He loaned his voice in Robot Chicken, played himself in The Jim Gaffigan Show, and again revisited Kevin McAllister in 2018 in a commercial for Google Assistant. Currently, Culkin works on his podcast Bunny Ears, which he launched in 2017. The site is part parody, part comedy, and sees the actor interviewing some big-name personalities, including singer Lizzo and skateboarding champ Tony Hawk. Culkin also wears a set of bunny ears throughout the interviews, hence the name. "It's a lifestyle kind of thing. I realized there was kind of a hole in the market of kind of poking fun at it, but at the same time being informative," he explained in one interview for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, adding that his podcast is kind of like Goop Meet, satirical digital magazine, The Onion. But for the most part, Culkin's days are spent however he wants, and that's the way he likes it. A far cry from life on set where his every movement required a schedule. And now, because he worked hard from the age of 4, he's able to comfortably retire earlier than most. It's allowed me to become the person I am, and I like me, so I wouldn't change a thing, he said in a previous interview of his early success. Not having to do anything for my dinner, financially, lets me treat every gig like it's the last. If it is, I'd think, Culkin, you had a good run. In 2004, Culkin's friend's car was stopped for speeding. The actor sat in the passenger seat. During a search, they found 17 grams of marijuana, as well as 8 Xanax tablets and 16 clonazepam tablets without a medical prescription. Mac was arrested but soon released on $4,000 bail. Over the following years, information about Macaulay's addiction to heroin, oxycodone and Vicodin regularly appeared in the press. According to some reports, he spent $6,000 a month on opioid painkillers. After breaking up with Mila Kunis, which, according to the representatives of the actress, was amicable and painless, Culkin ended up in the hospital with an overdose. According to some reports, this happened by accident. According to others, Macaulay tried to commit suicide. In an interview, Culkin denied his addiction and said that fans should not worry about him. In his opinion, his person did not deserve such attention, and in order to avoid unnecessary glances, the actor increasingly went out into the street under the cover of night. For years, Culkin tried to distance himself from the role of Kevin. He did not review the film, did not agree to repeat the signature gestures of his hero, and even tried not to leave the house during the winter holidays, Macaulay season, as he himself called this time. In 2018, he started his own Instagram and Twitter pages and also started his own podcast and Bunny Ears website. Culkin was married to actress Rachel Miner from 1998 to 2002. He then dated actress Mila Kunis for 8 years before their split in 2011. His next significant relationship has been with his current girlfriend, actress Brenda Song. The couple started dating in 2019 after meeting on the set of Changeland, a comedy directed by Seth Green. People don't realize how incredibly kind and loyal and sweet and smart he is, Song, a former Disney star, told Esquire. Truly what makes Mac so special is that he is so unapologetically Mac. He knows who he is, and he's 100% okay with that. And that to me is an incredibly sexy quality. He's worked really hard to be the person he is. And their relationship just goes from strength to strength with the couple now talking babies. We practice a lot, Culkin joked with the publication. We're figuring it out, making the timing work, because nothing turns you on more than when your lady comes into the room and says, "Honey, I'm ovulating." Now Macaulay is happy and lives a full life. This was the story of Macaulay Culkin. Now I will tell the story of all the actors of the movie Home Alone. What happened to them? Catherine O'Hara as Kate McAllister. She started her career in the 70s on Second City Television, SCTV, as a performer, then later as writer on the show and received an Emmy for her work. She also appeared in a bunch of iconic movies like Beetlejuice, After Hours, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, and Temple Grandin, and TV shows like 6 Feet Under and Curb Your Enthusiasm. She went on to appear in even more great movies and TV shows, but she's most widely known for her portrayal of Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek. In 2020, she even won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series for her role. John Hurd as Peter McAllister. His professional acting career started in the 70s after performing in various stage plays. He went on to act in movies like Heartbeat, Cutter's Way, Big, After Hours, Beaches, The Package, and Deceived. He continued acting and appeared in Sharknado, as well as TV series like The Sopranos, Prison Break, and The Client. Sadly, John died of a heart attack in 2017. Joe Pesci as Harry Lime. Joe's had his claim to fame after appearing in Goodfellas, Once Upon a Time in America, and Raging Bull. He played Harry Lime, one of the very memorable burglars in Home Alone. He's appeared in a bunch of other hit movies and worked alongside Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese. He most recently came out of retirement for Scorsese's The Irishman, a role for which he received Oscar, Golden Globe, and Screen Actors Guild nominations. Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister. The 10-year-old Macaulay played Kevin McAllister in Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and went on to star in other hits like My Girl and Richie Rich. Currently, Macaulay is publisher and CEO of a satirical pop culture website and podcast called Bunny Ears. He's a frequent guest on Red Letter Media, a film and TV-themed YouTube channel. He's also been dating Brenda Song since 2017 and has appeared alongside her in projects like Changeland and Dollface. Daniel Stern as Marv Merchants. He appeared in many movies including Stardust Memories, Hannah and Her Sisters, and City Slickers. He went on to play Marv in Home Alone. He's continued to act as well as direct and write. He wrote and starred in the CBS show Danny and directed several episodes of The Wonder Years. Most recently, he starred in Netflix's Game Over, Man. Devin Rattray as Buzz McAllister. The 13-year-old Devin played Kevin's older brother Buzz McAllister. He continued to act and he's appeared in shows and movies like Mosaic, Chicago Med, Russian Doll, Hustlers, Masterminds, Rough Night, and Girls. He also had a recurring role on Amazon's The Tick where he played tinfoil Kevin, Jerry Bamman as Uncle Frank. He slowly rose to fame after appearing in The Secret of My Success and Old Enough. Then, he played Uncle Frank in Home Alone. He continued to act and can be seen in TV shows like the following: The Good Wife, Damages, and Sex and the City, as well as movies like Around the Bend, The Cookout, Runaway Jury, and Double Whammy. Kieran Culkin as Fuller McAllister. The 8-year-old Kieran, Macaulay's real-life younger brother, played Kevin McAllister's cousin. He went on to appear in a number of movies like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Igby Goes Down, Movie 43, and The Cider House Rules. He stars on the hit HBO series Succession as Roman Roy, and was nominated for a Golden Globe in 2018 for his performance. Larry Hankin as Officer Balzac. He appeared briefly in many movies and in Home Alone he played Officer Balzac. He's continued to act in a plethora of iconic movies and TV shows. He's currently known for many iconic roles like Mr. Heckles on Friends, Tom Pepper on Seinfeld, Charlie Butts in Escape from Alcatraz, as well as Old Joe in Breaking Bad, a role he reprised in the Netflix movie El Camino. John Candy and Gus Polinski. The late actor John Candy can add Home Alone to his list of classic comedies, which include Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Cool Runnings, Spaceballs and Uncle Buck, which he also co-starred in with Culkin. Candy reportedly died of a heart attack on March 4, 1994 at the age of 43. Hilary Wolf and Megan. Hilary Wolf's acting career was short-lived, with Home Alone 2, Lost in New York being her last on-screen role. She became a judo champion and represented the United States at the 1996 and 2000 Summer Olympics. Michael C. Morona and Jeff, another one of Kevin's siblings, after making a number of acting appearances in the likes of Home Alone, 40 Days and 40 Nights, and Slackers, he then took on roles behind the camera. He's worked in the camera and electrical department for a number of recent projects including Dickinson, The Deuce and Iron Fist. Kristen Minter and Heather. One of the cousins, Heather, was played by Kristen Minter, who is still a working actress today. She's appeared in the likes of Hightown, This Is Us and Ray Donovan since starring in the first 2 Home Alone movies. Senta Moses and Tracy. Senta Moses, now Senta Moses Mikan, has also progressed since Home Alone and forged a career as a successful actress. She's recently had recurring roles in the likes of Badge of a Quitter, Faking It, and the kids' TV show Bella and the Bulldogs. Roberts Blossom as Janitor Marley. At the beginning of the film, the old man repels and frightens many viewers. In the end, he turns out to be a sweet and good-natured grandfather, whom Kevin reconciles with his family. At the time of filming, the actor was 66 years old. After Home Alone, he took part in several projects. Blossom passed away in July 2011 at the age of 87 from a stroke. Tim Curry as concierge. Rob Schneider as Bellman. Dana Ivey as his desk clerk. Terry Snell as Aunt Leslie. Angela Goethals as Lynn McAllister. Brenda Fricker. On this, our video has come to an end. Subscribe to the channel. Bye everyone.